Good morning, Kirsten. I know that thumb up is from you. I give you a thumb up too. How's your practice? How's your practice of enlightenment? Yeah, needs to do more, but it's not proper word to do something. The whole process is to recognize self recognition. Maybe I can also answer one question from last session. There's a one listener asked me one question: how to be self-aware. So actually, self-aware or self-recognized is synonymous. It's two synonyms. So actually, it's very simple. Again, we can have this little practice. For most of us, our attention is outgoing. We always, looking, listening, tasting, smelling, touching, and thinking. So most outgoing process, our attention is always attend to something, somebody, some memory, some list to do, you know. Like now, you're listening to me, I'm speaking to you, the attention is outgoing. But the whole awakening is to invite the attention go inward. When the attention go inward, it's like a spotlight on a stage shining on a dancer who is dancing on the stage. Now, the spotlight is kind of turned to go inward, to shine on itself. The awareness knows the awareness, self aware. That's called self recognition, too. Very simple. The whole process is like this: have the attention back to its source. So while you're listening to me, you can have the sense of I amness. You exist. I exist. You are. I am. It's a birthright. For most unawakened people, they cannot have this second part. So if I say it's a circle again, I like to use the circle. For most people, they have the first half of circle, their attention going outward. They very little, never have the attention backward or inward. So we can draw the second half circle, make a circle complete. Now you're on path of awakening. We want to be free of suffering. You know, the end of suffering, or liberated, or be freed. The second half, have the attention going inward, is a must. And nobody can do it for you. All the masters is pointing this process or invite us to draw this second half and make that circle of awareness or attention complete. Ouroboros again. So the interesting part is why you can draw this second half, have the attention back inwardly. Actually, it improves our attention going outward. We don't lose the ability to see, to watch, to hear, to smell, to taste, to touch, and to think. Actually, they are all strengthened, improved, with more clarity and stability. So a good metaphor is our awareness can become empty, like a cup can become empty once it was become full. Like we pour water into one cup, and you have ability to pull it out, to dump it, and waiting for the next liquid to pour in. So you can pour apple juice, milk, any liquid. In other words, if you have full cup of apple juice and you cannot let it go or dump it, then it becomes stagnant. So the awakening is like we can have the attention go out, but also have the freedom to go inward. So that's a letting go. That's it. Because now your attention can be back to its source. That's a letting go. That's a process of liberation. Very simple. I have a question here. Just oh, so many now. While doing meditation, I identify the four elements: air, water, earth. Fire with me. Can I call myself as space instead of Yes, instead of awareness. Is that my real identity? You can call it space, but it's a conscious space, right? Like now, you're watching me through a cell phone or computer. Can you recognize that space between you, the awareness, and the computer? There's a space here. And if you go far, if you go, like you can look out of window, see a tree. You see a tree, but at the same time you're always aware of the space between you and the tree. And in the space, the four elements manifest itself or themselves naturally. No matter what we are talking, what words we're using, space or four elements, you should be aware of that. Make sense? The awareness is prior to any phenomena, to all phenomena and to any phenomenon. Make sense? No awareness, no experience, no knowledge, nothing. Or we could say all experiences and awareness self coexist. It's like a mirror and its reflection. No mirror, no reflection. Or we can say no reflection, no mirror. Our awareness or consciousness is kind of like more than four-dimensional mirror, all-inclusive, unbound, infinite big and infinite small. Can you feel that way? That's important. Can you experience that way? Can you recognize your awareness is infinite, is big, infinite big, and infinite small? So infinite big, you can imagine a sun. If you are a scientist, you can use a telescope to watch a star hundred years of lights away. I mean, light years away, right? And there's no limit for that. You can go further until the age of the cosmos. Infinite big. Our awareness is infinite big. Also, if you're a physicist, you can go inward, watch our body, molecules, atoms, quarks, Plancks, infinitely small. You see, science have proves that we, as awareness, are infinite. When I study science, I love science. It's like I study it myself. It's not an object in the book or in the video now. It becomes I'm studying myself, because if I am all inclusive, all the history, all the book, all the objects, stars, galaxies, bacteria, animals, trees, nature. If I'm studying that, my awareness is on that, and my awareness is all inclusive. I'm studying myself too, right? Makes sense? So in this perspective, all your study makes so interesting. You don't force yourself to study. It's becomes your natural interest. That's why I said awakening has 2 steps. First step, the awareness is aware of itself. That's like a qualification of enlightenment, okay, or qualification of more neutral ways awakening. When the awareness can rest in the recognition of itself, you are qualified to be awakened. At least you like a university of the awakening. After a couple of years study, you can have that certificate. You're qualified. Like you have the a diploma or degree after 4 years of studying in the university. But on top of that, there's no limitation. There's no limit at all. So once the awareness can be aware of the self, you open the door of infinite knowledge, experience. It's hard, it's beyond words now. Power, strength. It's like that. Every book you're reading you're reading yourself. Because every how to say all experiences from 7 billion different brains or people are part of you, actually, are part of you, and it makes that the knowledge of who it becomes one part of a knowledge too. It's kind of my feeling, my experience anyway. Then the whole world or whole phenomena world becomes so interesting because you are part of, or more practical ways, we are part of cosmic intelligence, right? Human body, we have 100 billion cells that working together, making us breathe, digest, immune. Anyway, it's so complicated, but now the cosmic intelligence is within me, also within everything you can see. You can hear, you can touch, you can smell, you can taste, and you can think. The power of thinking is, as a human, is so immense. Everything you can imagine, you can memorize, you can plan, you can design, you can create, is the application of the cosmic intelligence. So beautiful. So visualize a sunset in your mind. You don't need to see a sunset. Instantly, you can have an image in your mind. How can you do this? It's amazing, right? You can switch to a red apple instantly. You can switch to your face of a mom instantly. You can turn the inner page, a book of images, so quickly as you want. So if you're Einstein, he should more used to think about stars, the forces, the particles. So his mental activity is very different from us. But no matter how different it is, is one part of the cosmic intelligence. And if you use this perspective, 7 billion different worlds or mental activities are all expressed in this one universal cosmic intelligence. And when you read the book, you're reading yourself. That's the beautiful part. Because now you don't identify yourself with the limited body and mind. You identify yourself with this cosmic intelligence, which is universal, infinite applications. And you become interested in studying yourself. And you know you have infinite time to study too now. Because once you don't identify with your body, you know you're infinite, you're beyond time. You can spend your next life to study. You can spend your next life to study. You see? But no matter what you're studying or what you have learned is not yours. You don't have that individual possession anymore. It's like you become infinite cup. Like I used a metaphor minutes ago. You become infinite cup that can absorb the knowledge and letting go of that knowledge and absorb the new knowledge or experience and letting go of that knowledge and experience. You're so free to learn, to study, to experience, yet not prisoned or imprisoned by all the knowledge, experience, and perception too. That's the cool part. That's the beautiful part. So you don't hurry to do anything. Sometimes I feel we are in a simulations. We are in like a cosmic simulations. If I watch the movie Matrix, the ego is the agents. The ego is the agent who try to, capture the Neo. Neo is a person, in this context, is a awakened one. But the agent try to, take him back to that entangled world. And there's a lots of people or that has been entangled and they don't know how to get out of entanglements. Actually, now if you look around, most of people are entangled. They don't know how to awaken or get out of that entanglements or prison. They believe that life is short. They believe I have to do something to achieve. They believe, you know, they are lack of this, lack of that, lack of almost everything. So they have to work hard to earn it, to make it happen. It's all these are wrong because they don't know their infinity. They don't know their eternity. It's a tragedy actually. It's so sad. But anyway, the true self, which is universal, which is underneath you and me, never disappear. It's always there, waiting for me, for my discovery. And once we discover that, we are free. We are liberated. That's all. Right now, the world we can perceive is our projection, or it's a simulation by our filters, by our tendencies. It's not true, or it's only partially true. It's but once you awaken, you know all our perception are so beautiful. It's so paradoxical. It's so beautiful because now everything you see, hear, touch, smell, taste, or think becomes the application of that thing, of that absolute or cosmic intelligence. You will cherish it. You will love it. You will enjoy it. You will, wow, so beautiful. I don't know. Hopefully, I explained it clearly. So everybody can become Neo. Actually, we are Neo already, so we don't know we have that power. That's all. Buddha's teachings say the ego, the ignorance is unreal, is illusion too. So once you recognize they're unreal, you are free instantly. That's called sudden enlightenment. So self-recognition, that's all. You recognize your beyond body mind, but you don't reject your body mind, because now your our body mind becomes a tool to manifest, to talk like this, to listen to the sage's teaching, to read the master's book, to enjoy the food, to appreciate sunlight. You see, it becomes uh, a equipment to express your realization. In the same way, to awaken others too. Mm, So, which a lot of sages have has done this job already, like Buddha, like Christ, like Sadhguru now, like Spiral, Rupert Spiral, Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Ram Dass, so many, so many. Uh, Jack Confield, Thich Nhat Hanh, so many, many, many awakened beings now, and we take advantage of internet to watch, the YouTube, or to read their articles. They're doing their job so well. Now again, I ask you to draw the second half of circle. The second half circle meaning you are aware that you are aware. The awareness is aware of yourself now. Well, we can invite attention back to its source. Actually, the first half a circle will be done more beautifully. You can again have your attention going outward, to see a tree, to observe a bird, to fire a thought with more stability and balance. So you don't lose yourself in the thinking. You don't lose the pure awareness in the seeing or watching an object. You see that beauty of the union, harmony between the observed and the observer, and the process observing or observation. It's all in one, actually. It's all happened in the awareness. In Buddha's teaching, in the face of Mahayana, that in the face of Mahayana, they said there's observed and observer. 见分和相分. So in Chinese we say 见分. 见分 means the observer, the pure awareness. 相分 means the observed, the contents of the awareness. Can you experience that way? You are listening to me. There's a listener. And what I'm saying is the contents of your listening. Or the listened. The listener and the contents of listening. Can you experience now? Basically, there's a space there. There's a time. You see, space and time is created. Between you, the observer, and the observed. And space and time are created at the same time. You cannot separate space from time. They have to coexist. Robert Spira said, it is our perception that create a space. It is our thought that create a time. I agree with him. Time only exists in the mental activity. I mean the clock time. Also, as human beings, we have psychological time, like memories. But all these clock time and psychological time are not fundamentally not unreal. It's practical, it's useful, but it's not the truth. It's relative. Let's say that may be more accurate word. It's not absolute. You see, the Einstein's theory of relativity becomes your experience. Also, the perception, because we identify ourselves as this body and this mind. So when you see looking outward, you see a space, you see a world, and in which there's a people, You know, there's family, nature, buildings, sky, and so on. This is relative too. But once you can enter the field of awareness, which is all inclusive, you kind of lose this individualized or localized perception. It's still there. You still see a space, but now you don't attach to this perception anymore. It's like a perception without perception. Or maybe more practical metaphor or experiences. So, what do I mean? A perception without perception. So, our eyes, ears still work. So if you're looking at me, right? So there's a perception here from a spatial, uh, specific coordinates of space, like in which city, in a city, in a room, you know, in a view. But now, if you look around, just turn your head to side. You change your perception. What you see change too. Or you can move your head from left to right a little bit, and you will see there's a differentiation, there's a changement of image, you know. Sometimes it's so small, it's hard to notice that. But no matter how it changes, or how big or how small, the awareness never change. Why I call it a perception without perception. You're totally free from what you're seeing, hear, touch, smell, think. It's like you're looking at yourself from different angles now. Because all the awareness is infinitely big and infinitely small. So no matter where you're going or what perception you're taking, it's all you. Yet you can be freed from that perception. You see that thing. Everybody's perception is relatively right. That also means, or in other words, sometimes we say, once we have a belief, the very belief will change your perception. And the very belief will change your experience and the reality. So what we believe makes our reality and experience. You see that thing? And it is true for you. It is relatively true for you. The freedom of cosmic intelligence in a relative level. So cool. So cool. Okay, maybe we end this session. I have to pick up my son at the soccer field now. See you next time. See you tomorrow, Kristen.